There's something uniquely touching about an old toothless dog with a face that tells 1,000 stories. Their fur may be patchy, their steps wobbly, and their expressions a little quirky. But when you look into those eyes, you can still see it. The unconditional love, the warmth that only a dog can give. This is the story of one such dog and the incredible woman who chose to change her world and theirs. Stay tuned for today's video on animals' healthcare to discover more. The small, weathered trailer on the outskirts of Houston was home to more than just its decaying walls and abandoned belongings. It was the sad, neglected sanctuary for dozens of dogs. Dogs who had been forgotten by the world, whose lives were shaped by the cruelty of hoarding and neglect. Among them was a frail little Chihuahua, one who had never known kindness, never known safety, and whose future seemed as bleak as the broken-down structure that surrounded him. But fate had a different plan. On October 3rd, 2023, the Houston Humane Society, responding to a tip about the dire conditions at the trailer, moved in to rescue the dogs. They found 47 dogs, mostly Chihuahuas, living in squalid conditions, surrounded by feces, trash, and the overwhelming stench of urine. Some of the dogs were emaciated, some were severely neglected, and many were fearful, their spirits broken from years of isolation. Toothless was among them. He had lived his entire life on the outskirts, rarely encountering humans, and was so feral that he had to be captured with a net. He was scared, defensive, and covered in fleas. His tiny body was weak, and his eyes, those deep dark eyes, spoke of a lifetime of pain and fear. He was also missing his teeth, which made him seem even more fragile. But it was this very vulnerability that caught the eye of one woman, Madeline Cantrell, or Maddie as she liked to be called. Madeline Cantrell was no stranger to the struggles of rescuing animals. Her home, a cosy little cottage tucked away in a quiet corner of the town, was always filled with the sounds of barking, wagging tails, and the soft shuffle of paws against hardwood floors. But unlike many animal rescues that focus on puppies and young dogs, Maddie had dedicated herself to a different cause, giving senior dogs a chance at a dignified, peaceful life. Maddie had spent much of her life surrounded by animals in need. Working for the Houston Humane Society, she had seen her fair share of heartbreaking stories. But there was something about Toothless that pulled at her heartstrings. She knew, even before she saw him, that she would be his rescuer. She read the reports, she saw the photos of the other dogs rescued from the hoarding situation. She knew the road ahead would be tough for all of them, but especially for Toothless. Still, she couldn't turn her back on him. "I saw his face," Maddie recalled, "and I knew I had to give him a chance." When Maddie first encountered Toothless, he was beyond terrified. He had never been touched by a human hand before and had no idea what affection or care meant. The staff at the shelter told Maddie that he had been found outside, huddling in the woods near the trailer, likely living on his own for years. With no human interaction to guide him, his behaviour was feral. He growled and barked at anyone who tried to approach, and when someone reached out, he snapped in defence. Maddie, however, was determined. She worked with him gently and patiently, and after 2 days of failed attempts to calm him, she decided to take him into her care, knowing that a foster environment might give him the best chance at healing. It was a huge risk, but Maddie was no stranger to the challenges of rehabilitating senior dogs, especially those with trauma and fear. Toothless's journey didn't begin with love, it began with patience. Maddie and her co-worker used a towel to gently pick him up and move him. Once in her arms, he froze. It was as if the fight had gone out of him, and he realised that he was no longer alone. He didn't growl anymore, he didn't snap. Instead, he simply shut down. Maddie could feel the terror radiating off of him, but she knew it was a good sign. He wasn't attacking, he was just afraid. The first night was spent quietly in her office, allowing Toothless to adjust to the feeling of being held, of being cared for, without the constant threat of abandonment. The following morning, something incredible happened. Toothless, the once feral dog, who had never known the soft touch of a human, pawed at Maddie's legs. It was a simple gesture, but for Maddie it was a sign that he was beginning to trust her. He wasn't trying to bite anymore. In fact, he seemed to like being held, even though he was still unsure of this new world. Maddie didn't stop there. She took Toothless home that night, and the transformation began in earnest. Over the course of the next few weeks, Toothless's true personality began to emerge. The fear still lingered, but he no longer fought her. He was learning to trust, slowly but surely. He learned that being held was not something to fear, that the car wasn't a scary place, and that other dogs, especially his new dog siblings, could be a source of comfort. Toothless wasn't just healing physically, he was healing emotionally. He was learning to play, something he had likely never done before. The first time he chased a ball, it was as if a light bulb had gone off in his tiny brain. He liked it. He liked the freedom to run and play. Maddie couldn't help but smile watching as he tentatively made his way across the yard, his small but sprightly body following the ball. As 2023 drew to a close, Maddie reflected on the remarkable journey they had both taken. Toothless had so many firsts, she shared. The first time a human showed him love, the first time he rode in a car, the first time he was truly happy. Toothless even had his first Christmas in a real home, with a tree and presents and treats. His eyes, once clouded with fear, now sparkled with a new sense of joy. As we wrap up Toothless and Maddie's beautiful story, we hope it has touched your heart the way it has ours. It's a reminder that no matter how broken, abandoned, or forgotten, a soul may seem, with a little love and patience, every dog, every creature, has the potential to heal and thrive.
You've got a chip on your lip.
Maddie's commitment to senior dogs, and to Toothless in particular, shows us all the incredible power of compassion. That's the end of the story today. Has Toothless's journey inspired you? Have you ever adopted or thought about adopting a rescue dog? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for sticking with us all the way to the end. If you enjoyed this story, please give this video a big thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to turn on the bell and subscribe to our channel Animals Healthcare so you never miss any of our new videos. Thank you for your support. Wishing you all peace, happiness, and a little bit of extra love today. Take care, and we'll see you in the next one.